What's up, everybody? Millennial here with a quick video on Odell Beckham Jr. giving away some Bitcoin.
All right, welcome everybody. We are still waiting on two other participants. Thank you everyone for joining another awesome Safemoon Sunday. For this Safemoon Sunday, we are going to be discussing V2. Just to preface this this Safemoon Sunday, I want to say to everybody, we're not going to be talking about company-wide movements. We're really just going to be focusing on the V2, education centered around V2, and all the questions that you guys will have around V2. So I think we have Kat's in now. Kat's, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Fantastic. All right.
And I've just rocked and rolled here as well.
We got Fox. All right. Fantastic. So we have everyone here. I was just letting everybody know
right,
we're going
guys,
to be
let's
centered
get this
really
started.
around V2 education for the Safemoon Sunday. So any questions when we start calling on people from the community, please center your questions around V2, not more company-wide bigger movements, because we have a lot to cover with this, and obviously we have a lot of questions in the community. So Fox, you want to go ahead and begin?
So yeah, hi there. I'm Mr. Adult, and I'm the Global Community Manager. So basically, I've had the pleasure of wrangling our crew through some interesting months, and now we're here celebrating what it is to be, quite honestly, one of the most inspiring communities that exists on the internet. And that's not to oversell it. We actually won an award on that the other week as well. And to rephrase that, you won the award. And what's been really amazing from my perspective is to hear all the stories about what SafeMoon's done for all of you, like your dreams for the future and what the community's meant for you. And I've seen a lot of stories about the kind of social engagement piece. So there's a lot of you that have come in because of the token, and then you've stayed because you found a community that you want to show up with. And actually the Twitter space I was fortunate to be part of just after that award was won was quite remarkable. And I'm hoping to bring a few bits out of that, not today, but in the coming weeks, because Gandalf happened to manage to get a copy. So yeah, some really inspiring stories. But I'm really glad to be here with part of the build-up process, V2 today. And it's outstanding to be sharing the stage, obviously, with Ryan and also with Katz, which is perhaps a wonderful segue to have Katz introduce himself for those who aren't familiar.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Adult. Yeah, I'm Katz, or my real name would be Mark. You can call me either or. I am a senior scholar and newly appointed community and education manager. So my task is to try and help bring education to the forefront for everyone here and anyone in the Safemoon Army. I've been working tirelessly to make sure that there are things in place ready for you guys, along with the rest of the team. So this is what this space is really about, is to bring that education. And that's the main point and the focus, that we want to make sure that you guys have everything you need to make sure that it's as simple as possible for you. So yeah, enjoy.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we wanted to make that clear. One of the links for everyone listening that we have added to the Safemoon website actually redirects to an educational piece that Katz has been working on for the community. So as we start going into V2, as we start, having more migration questions, all of the support and help resources that you can think of will be added to that link that Katz manages. So really good stuff. Thank you so much, Katz, for your contribution to the community. After we started adding that, it was like, wow, you have so much, I mean, so many resources that the community can utilize, not just for V2, but for all things Safemoon. And then Katz is going to be working really hard on adding to that as well. So let's go ahead and kick this off. Hi all, I'm Ryan, Global Head of Products for Safemoon. We are going to be discussing today some V2. So let's go ahead and go through some V2 questions that we do have from the community. Mr. Adult, if you can go ahead and start that off. I do know we have some questions that we want to get through, people that we have, I guess, questions that we have obtained from Twitter that people had sent in. So if you can start that off, that'd be great.
Certainly, give me just a moment. I've got two sets. So let's go through some that I've got here first, which includes, if it changes, here we go. What might happen if I don't migrate?
Yeah, great question. So everyone's asking, hey, if I don't migrate, if I just sit on it, at some point, we are going to have to decommission this smart contract. So we're going to give a great deal of time for people to migrate. And we're doing this in phases. So many people are thinking, well, I want to be first to migrate. We're not going to be pushing people to migrate right away. You don't have to migrate even within the first day or few days. That's not the process we want to take, because we understand that communication can be segmented, it can be splintered, and there's going to be people who might sit on it. There's going to be people that might, they might be in a situation where they can't migrate yet. It's okay. We're doing everything in phases. So the first phase, we're going to allow migration to be handled on the web swap and the app swap. We've talked about this. There's going to be a simple token that's going to be added, preloaded onto the app and preloaded into web swap. And we've already actually done a lot of the logic in the back end. There's going to be an extra button that people can press. It's going to say consolidate now, and it preloads your V1 token from your account balance into the swap, and then it preloads the V2 token as the bottom option. And then you just press accept and swap. So that's the way that we're doing it for web swap and app swap, and we're making it very simple for everybody. And then that next phase is going to be, well, what about the people who are on exchanges? Well, we're working through partnerships right now with exchanges, and every exchange is going to be a little different, because obviously we're working with third parties, and there's things that we have to do in the back end. So we have to make sure that we seed specific accounts with that V2 token, and then they get it ready, and they basically turn on, or they halt trading for the V1, and then they turn on and activate that V2 token within their exchange, and then people can do a seamless migration that way. So we're trying to do everything in phases, and in phase 3, what you mentioned is, well, when does it end? Well, at some point we're going to have to end this, and that's because what will happen is later on, if we don't end the migration and say, okay, well, V2 shut, or V1 shut off, what will happen is people will accidentally start buying the V1 token. And then that's when a lot of FUD and stuff comes out where, oh, well, I bought the V1 token. Now what do I do? I'm lost. So we have to make sure that there is an end date to this, because that's an additional risk that we would be carrying along with us as we move forward, and we don't want that.
Okay, that's pretty concise. And I think attaching on to that, there was a common question that would be good to clear up around whether there's actually a cost to perform that migration.
Sorry, you cut out there. The
okay, is that working now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So just to add on to that, is there a cost that goes with that migration at all?
Yeah. So the only cost will be the BNB network. So the Binance Smart Chain native token that you would have to have in your wallet to initiate a transfer. That's the only cost. If we could, as developers, everyone, make it so it's free for everybody, we would definitely do that. But we can't control the Binance Smart Chain. That's a fee that's there for every single transfer, every single token. Token developers don't have the option to turn that on and off. That's just a fee to play. It's like going over a bridge and paying the toll. However, we are making it free for the Safemoon. So we are not going to be charging. There's going to be a 10% fee charged, obviously, with V1, but then when it's translated into your V2 token, we're going to mint an additional 10% for you. So it's a complete wash. It's basically all the value that you have in your V1 token is going to be the same exact value that you have in your V2.
It's very clear. And I'm not going to get ahead of too many of the community questions that might come up as well, but I think they've been the most common ones, other than just when, of course. Now, it might be a good opportunity to sort of recap and reintroduce what V2 is, and with some of the benefits of that change that's ahead of us, and what might be able to happen once V2 is in place.
Yeah, absolutely. So V1, or so I should say, V1. The way V1 started was, with all token developers, they start out with their first iteration, right? It's like starting out and pushing out your first app, and then you realize, man, we got to scale the app. Wow, we have 1 million users. We have to make this better. We have to make it more flexible. We have to make it so that it can be utilized with other partners, and we can bring on other partnerships. With our V2, we've realized this. And in the blockchain space, it's, wow, how can we utilize our token with other companies, with other products? So as we're going through this, we're saying, well, V1's just not good enough anymore. We need to scale this up. So we've been working really hard. And not only did we just do the consolidation, so every 1,000 Safemoon, you get one Safemoon. That's not what this just only thing that this entails. You're also going to get extra flexibility. So we're going to have lower fees, and we've made it so that the fees can actually be changed based on the partnership. So I know we've heard, hey, we can go as low as 2% fees, but there might be other partnerships that we decide to bring in that may have higher fees, may have lower fees. It really depends on the partnership that we bring on and how they add value to the ecosystem. So we've had that in place as well, and we built that into the smart contract. So the way that we're thinking about this is we want it to be secure, we want it to be safe, but we also want it to be flexible, because as we grow and as Safemoon grows, this is something that is going to be a need for us and a need for the ecosystem that we build. So once this is completed and once this is done, we're going to have so many more opportunities. And we already have a lot of other partnerships I'm not going to speak on that have reached out to us, that have got wind of us now switching over to V2. They see kind of the specifics of what we're doing, and they're really excited. So this is really exciting for us. This is just another piece to the puzzle, guys. And once we get through that, then off to the races.
I think exciting is the good word to pick on there as well. And I think we're very aware. We've had, we're trying to have some fun with this, but we're also aware now that it's not about overhyping things. We like to have a bit of hype, but we don't want to go too crazy on that. And so we've learned a lot, I think, from previous launches. And so a big piece of what we're doing now, which we kind of touched on at the beginning, is really moving into more of an education first approach, but with some fun alongside it. And there's an education and support plan that will come as part of that. I don't know if you want to talk on kind of where we're at with the road to sort of launching this now, Ryan, and how that plays in.
Yeah, sure. So guys, we hear you. Win V2, win V2. I'm going to give you some good news. We've already deployed the smart contract. So V2 has already been deployed. We've had a successful deployment of V2. And now we're just working on the UI aspect in the app. Now, as far as the app goes, we're already done with the logic. We're already done with the UI. And now we're doing testing. So we're ensuring that when you guys are ready to start swapping your V1 for V2, everything is operational in the app. And that's really what we're working on now. So the smart contract is done. It's deployed. It's live on the blockchain. We haven't given out the contract address yet, but it's ready to rock and roll. So now we're just worried about just the user experience and how seamless this is for all of you to swap. So if there's any FUD, the FUD can stop now, because guess what? It's deployed. So now we're just bringing it to you in a nice package.
I hope that there was a kind of global sense of relief and excitement as that came through. And actually, anyone who's watching the Twitter account, you may have seen there's a new pinned tweet, which actually starts to contain the first of some upcoming infographics. Some of that won't be news, but we're also making sure this education piece does actually work for everyone. And it is about, not everyone is completely technically savvy. I'm sure a lot of us remember how it was originally trying to buy on PancakeSwap all those months ago as well. So there's going to be lots of assets that get produced and released in the coming days, because we really want to make sure that you're totally prepared on how it's going to work. There will be some videos coming up that actually walk you through that process. So when we do actually let you have access to the contract and the app update goes out, you'll be completely clear on what needs to happen ahead of time, rather than it being a sort of mad scramble and reaction, which is what maybe has happened in the past. So we're really confident that we're going to give you a better kind of easier road in this time. We also need to consider things like our wonderful international friends who perhaps English isn't their first language, and it gives us an opportunity to create some translated assets as well and make sure that everyone's supported. So hopefully this starts to show you that it's a bit of a shift from pure hype and actually moving into a place where we all understand what's going on and what to expect. And hopefully that news from Ryan has brought you some excitement as well, as we get really, really close now to everyone getting their hands on it. Do you want to talk a little bit about the kind of timeline then, in terms of what they might be expecting? Is it just, it's ready? Do we want to give anything more?
Yeah, so I know everyone loves timelines, but the thing is when I give a hard date, guess what? Everybody holds our feet to the fire. So we're working with one third-party company who's helping us with the migration. And we're working with our internal dev team that's basically creating a nice, seamless process for everybody. And we're no longer now, the smart contract team has done their work, they've done their job, and that's launched and deployed. So we're not having to deal with that anymore. But we are also working with marketing, right? So we have to make sure that those assets get out there. We have to make sure that everything's in a nice package for when we launch. So as of now, the way that we're looking at this is it's going to be ready very soon. And I'm not going to say imminent, but it's going to be very, very soon. And now that the smart contract's deployed and we can start testing, it'll be, I'm not going to give a hard date, but it'll be definitely before the end of this year. And we might even surprise you guys with a sooner than later launch date. So we'll leave it there. But like I said, everything's going to be in a process. It's going to be staged. We're going to have phases. So the first one, like I said, web swap app. Second one, we're going to be, speaking to exchanges, making sure that, they have the support that they need. And then any other loose ends that we need to tie up, we'll be sure to address those.
Lovely. So I think we'll start looking to bring some people up. But whilst we do that, I think Katz has a couple of perhaps what the FUD questions or community questions that you can serve up in the meantime while we're getting some people ready.
Yeah, awesome. So the first question is in relation to hard wallets. Is my tokens are in a hard wallet? How can I migrate to V2?
Yeah, so that has to do with basically what a hard wallet is, hey, you have a private key, right? You have a private key, and your Safemoon or your tokens, for that matter, any type of tokens you have, they're going to exist on the blockchain, and you'll be accessing those through a private key. So with that private key from your hard wallet, you'll be able to import that into any other wallet you'd like, any other decentralized wallet that allows you to import private key. What we recommend is before you make that change, check out our web swap and see what we support. In our web swap, we support Web Connect, we support Trust Wallet, we support Math Wallet, and Binance Wallet. So any of those, if you can import your private key from your hard wallet, then in that case, guess what? You're not going to be paying any 10% because there's no transfer fee that's going through. You're just basically importing your private key from one wallet into the other. It's just a nice seamless, okay, now I can view my tokens here. And then through our web swap, you'll be able to use Wallet Connect or connect straight through Web3 integration by pressing the connect button. And so we've tried to make it as seamless as possible and have like kind of this umbrella over, most of our users that have, their Safemoon in different locations. And we've done it. I feel we've done a great job at making sure that we've really touched on our users' devices and wallets and everything that they have through our web swap. So that will be the way that you do it. Any other questions?
No, that's awesome. So no one's getting left behind, regardless of what wallet you're using. You're all going to be able to find one way or another to migrate across. So don't think that if you're on Trust Wallet or any other wallet that you are going to be left behind. So there is a process for you guys, and that content will roll out and explain those sort of things. The only other question is in relation to how V2 fundamentally works with the migration to things like the Burn wallet, for example, is how is that side of things being brought across? Because obviously the Burn wallet is locked, so we can't have access to that.
So the Burn wallet, so basically the way that will happen is that will still be locked. That's going to be locked in V1. And then the way that we do that is with the Burn wallet, for example, you can't touch that. I mean, it's gone. It's locked. The same thing with our whole partnership that we have Unicrypt. They're ensuring that everything stays locked as well. So we still have, the however many years left on that locking. So there's nothing that we can do as far as touching it. There's nothing that the company can do as far as touching it. It's gone, basically. So we've been working with Unicrypt, and I think people who have been watching us on Twitter knows that, hey, there's some kind of partnership going on with Unicrypt. That's what it is. They've been making sure that everything's secure, making sure that as we move over our LP, that everything stays locked. And they've been doing a fantastic job at making sure that this migration is going off without a hitch. And that's actually another thing that's going on in the back end that people don't even know about. Like, that's a whole nother party that we're working with, that ensuring that this entire migration process and this V2, consolidation process goes off without a hitch. So what people see on the front end is maybe an iceberg. They see the little piece at the top, but they don't realize there's so many bigger movements that goes on behind the scenes that we want to make sure that by the time you get it, it's perfect. So hope that answers your question.
Awesome. I think that clarifies it for everyone out there. The only other question, which is a small question, and it relates to a missing member of the community that's not up here as he usually would be, is where is John Crony?
So John has taken some time off, much needed time off. He's been doing really extraordinary things in the back end, amazing partnerships that I can't talk about. But I'll say this, December is going to be a really big month. And when he gets back on December, he's going to hit the ground running, and you guys are going to be really excited about what's to come in December. I wish I could say more things on that, but I can't because obviously that's for John to speak about. But very exciting partnerships, very exciting movements, and you guys are gonna have to wait to see.
Perfect. That's all. So we've got 3 community members up here right now. So we'll go in order as I saw them came up. So we've got Damien, then Kiwi, and then we have Broad Arrow. So Damien, ask away.
Yes. Can you hear me?
You're good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right on. Always the first question, right? Okay, so you guys covered a whole bunch there. That kind of stumped me just a little bit, but then I remembered an older question. It has to do with exchanges, not necessarily like when are we listing with something per se, more of is V2 going to be able to allow us to control tokenomics so that it's not heavily dependent on the exchanges, or is that still going to be exchange dependent? That's my question.
So you mean, yes. So okay, I think I understand your question. So you're saying, will V2 token allow us to be a little bit more independent in the way that we scale and the way that people utilize the token, rather than just, hey, the only way the token will grow is by being on an exchange and getting more exchanges? Is that what you mean?
No. My question is more centered around the tokenomics themselves. How some exchanges honor the tokenomics and some don't. With V2, is there a way for us to have control over the tokenomics, or is that still going to be exchange dependent?
Got it. So that's still going to be exchange dependent, but it makes it easier for them because we have the ability to change the, like I said, the buy and sell rate. So as the buy and sell rate gets changed based on the exchange, if they say, hey, you know what, we want to support or we don't want to support specific tokenomics, they can still list the token, and we're still getting some kind of burn. We're still having, something that's the exchanges can utilize in a way that helps the community. But the way that we want to look at this is, how will we be appeasing specific exchanges that won't otherwise support us? How will we appease them and still further Safemoon's reach? So that's the way we want to look at it. Obviously, our tokenomics are very important to us, so we're going to be, making sure that we preserve that. But there comes a time when there's bigger exchanges that they won't move. They won't move on that, and that might be something down the road where, hey, we already have the token ready for tokenomics when they do make that shift, because obviously there's a lot more tokens that are coming out that have similar tokenomics. When they're ready to make that shift, we'll be ready. But we don't want to compromise, our reach and our scale in the interim, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that definitely helps to clarify that a little bit. I appreciate the time and effort on that question. I know it's been a burning question for a little while, and yeah, we'll just have to see where the ride takes us for sure. I'm definitely bullish on our direction there. Thanks again.
Hey, thanks a lot, Damien, for your question.
Thanks, Damien. Next up, Kiwi.
Hey, Kat. Thank you. Ryan, everyone, the army, Mr. Adult. I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. It's Monday for me here in Down Under, but look, I'm loving this transition to education. Heavy education around V2. That's probably a good time to put a warning out there as far as scams and people pretending to be Safemoon support at this time during migration. So it's probably a good time to put a warning out there to only get your information or follow the official information when you do your migration. I did have 2 questions if I can. Just the first question relating to V2 V2 swap and liquefy. Will we have that function in the V2 smart contract?
Yeah, so it's going to be, it's essentially the same contract. The only difference is that we allow the flexibility of changing rates based on the partnerships and the scaling that the company needs to do. So everything will remain the same, and the consolidation obviously is going to be different. So you're going to have less tokens for the same value, but everything will remain the same. That's how we've built the smart contract. You know, we've created migration contracts so that whenever your V1 is sent to the V2 contract, essentially it's the same contract with just added flexibility.
Okay, awesome. And look, this question was kind of more related to what Mr. Adult brought up around this army fighting off the FUD over the last sort of few weeks, and we've been copping it left, right, and centre. But you know, this army's pretty much stuck strong, and we continue to fight the FUD. It's a question I asked Cats a couple of days ago, and I want to sort of direct it to you, Ryan. But what do you think? Because you've now been on both sides as far as being within the business and also being part of the army before. But what do you think is going to be the legacy that this army is going to leave behind? So I'm talking about the Safemoon army, right? Let's put the token to one side. What's the legacy that this army is going to leave behind or be remembered for?
I think what this army is going to be remembered for is the ability to just keep moving forward after every single obstacle that's been put in our way. So you have to understand, like, first when we started, it was, oh, they don't even have a business use case, right? That was the first thing. And this was, you know, it's no more than 7 months ago. I mean, 6 months ago, right? They didn't even have a business use case. Their use case is tokenomics. And then it was, well, they don't really going to have an app. And then I vividly remember a Safemoon Sunday coming on saying, no, we're going to release an app, and we're going to release it for both Android and iPhone, and it's going to be done, and it's going to be great, and we're going to continue to improve it. And that was, it's not going to happen. And then I said, that's just a point in passing time. And then we released, and then at that same time, we released the web swap, right? And then after all of this, now people are, well, is there going to be a V2? So the whole thing with Safemoon is we have such inspired people, and we have people who truly believe in what we're doing and what we're building, that with that, you're going to have that yin and yang, right? You're going to have other people that are coming on the end and trying to tear that down. But we're going to keep moving forward, and we're going to keep pushing products. And guess what? V2 is already deployed. So now it's just a matter of, you know, tightening it up and making it a nice presentation for everybody to start swapping. So after this is done, we're going to go on to our next thing, and it's going to be our ecosystem, and V2's that missing piece. So as we've been going, we've been building products, we've been building foundation, and that next piece that we're going to be building is, you know, Safemoon Connect, you know, different encryption, how V2 works with other exchanges, how V2 works with other partners. And our legacy is nothing will get in our way. Nothing will stop us. Because at the end of the day, we've built this community with people who have weathered the storm, and with every dip, they know that there's going to be another high because they've gone through it. They've seen it. They've seen all the FUD. They've battled it. So we have battle-ready community. We have a battle-ready team that's not stopping or slowing down anytime soon. I can promise you that. And this is going to be our legacy. So that's my opinion. That's how I feel.
Yeah, 100% agree, man. Thank you very much. Thank you for bringing me up. Shout out to the Safemoon Army. Peace out, and enjoy V2 when it drops. Thanks, guys. Cheers, man.
Thanks for your question, man. Thanks.
Thanks, Kiwi. And next up is Broad Arrow.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, team. Hey, Safemoon Army. How are y'all today?
Great. How you doing, buddy? Good.
Hey, Ryan, I know how you have talked about things being familiar during all the transitions that we have. When we do hit that button and it pre-fills our swap, like you mentioned, will it be an all or none on that point, or will users be able to have access to the 25 to 100 max option on there to migrate?
So users will still have the option to change. Really, the only thing that we're doing is we're just making it easier so that when you click the consolidate button, it automatically pulls your entire Safemoon balance into that swap. But then once it's in there, you can always change it. So you could say, oh, you know what? I don't want to do a full, I can do it 25%, which personally, I would recommend. Because if you're going to be doing a swap and you want to make sure that everything goes through, do a test transaction. I always preach that. Always test transactions first. It might cost you, an extra few bucks to do that test transaction, but it's a sanity point, and it's a good practice, and I always tell people, hey, do the 25% or even do less, just to ensure that after you do the swap, it goes into your wallet under the V2 token section.
Okay, that's why I asked, because I always tell everyone to, best practices, do a small portion first to make sure. And I didn't know if we were going to be able to do that. So I appreciate the answer, and I hope everybody has a blessed Sunday.
Totally. You too, man. Thank you for your question.
Thanks, Bro Darren. The question that I've just got from the Discord community by the username of, I apologize if I do mispronounce this, but Otsili, who's asked is, will the contract for Safemoon V2 be audited, or has it already been audited?
So we're in the process. Basically, you want to get all your ducks in a row, get deployed. It's in the process right now. We're actually have already in the back end arranged for that. So like I mentioned earlier, it's essentially the same contract. The only difference is we added just a little bit more flexibility. So when that audit does come in, I don't foresee it being, much different than what we have now, just because of the way that we've done it, the way that we've added on to it. So.
Awesome. Okay, and moving on, three more new speakers have just come up, so I'll get them again in order they came up. So Beto, then Shaw, and then Paul. So go ahead, Beto.
Hey guys, thanks for pulling me up. Ryan, I have a question. So I have multiple wallets and Trust Wallet. I would like to import those over to the Safemoon wallet for the V2 migration. Do you anticipate that multiple wallets will be supported before V2 in the Safemoon wallet?
Well, Beto, you're in luck, buddy, because we've already finished multiple wallets. So this very next update that will have all of the V1 to V2 migration mechanisms will also have multiple wallets, and will also have import private keys. So you'll be able to import your private key as well. So remember, earlier I'd mentioned people will be able to take their private key from their hard wallet and put it into other wallets and import. Well, you're going to be able to do that with Safemoon Wallet as well. So all of these things, we've strategically made sure that these features are available, so that way, whenever this migration happens, the features are there, everybody's ready to rock and roll, and we're going to make this as seamless as possible. So yeah, it's done. It'll be in the next update.
Awesome. That's all I had. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks, guys.
You bet. Absolutely, man.
Thanks, Beto. Next up is Shaw.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Mr. Adult, Ryan, Katz?
How's it going, Shar?
Going good. So Ryan, what I want to know is, what is your favorite part of being a part of Safemoon? What is your favorite thing? What gets you up every morning?
Oh, okay. So I'll tell you this. It is, I personally, I'm a builder. I love solving problems elegantly. I tell people I love chaos, and then bringing it into the process and solving problems elegantly so that it's simple and easy for people to understand. That's always been my thing. And working with the Safemoon team, I'd say working with the team, just the back end team. We have, everyone from marketing to sales to, our dev team. I work with everyone, and to see the passion that every single one of these key players bring to the table, that juices me. And you need that, right? Because that DNA rubs off on you. And so everyone you bring in your org, if they don't have that, or if they're not like excited about what they're building or working hard to do it, then that DNA will rub off on you, and you'll kind of, learn from that, and you won't be as enthused. So it's like it's a combination of doing what I love, building finding problems, because we have a lot of problems in emerging tech. I mean, there are so many problems in this space, guys. It's not just like building some TikTok app. Like there's documentation for days out there for, you know, how to bring up a video player into your app. And you can go into Stack Overflow and find that easily. But when you're talking Web3 and you're like, for example, our reflections tracker, there's no documentation out there. It's all experimentation. So that's fun, right? And then working with people who are like-minded and have that passion, that's fun. And those two together just absolutely juice us, and it makes it feel like we're unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable. And it all starts with the people. So that's what juices me personally every day.
Thank you for the answer. Thank you, Ryan. You know, I can only echo. That's how I feel being a moderator of the Discord server. It's really just the people that we work with every day are incredible. Not just my fellow moderators, but even the community members themselves. You know, I'm a big advocate of the community, obviously being a member of it myself. So thank you. I appreciate your answer.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. And obviously the Safemoon Army, I mean, that goes without saying, but that goes with the people that we work with, right? We can't do any of this without the Safemoon Army. None of this can be done because of the positivity that everybody brings. It's funny. It's like when you start a company or when you build something, you have to have support. If you don't have support, it's like pushing a boulder up the hill, right? But because we have so many positive people that have faith and believe in us, it makes things so much easier. And those problems get smaller. And you know, that our community, we didn't just win awards. I mean, we didn't even have to win an award to know that our community is top notch. And that's what's going to keep pushing us forward, and that's what's going to keep pushing us into the next stage and the next phase as we grow this. So yeah, thanks for your question, man. Really appreciate it. And everyone who's listening, thank you for being here, because you guys are the ones that are making the change.
Awesome. Next up is Paul. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, thanks for having me up. And Ryan, hopefully you're still in the States right now and you got some tacos from the food that you've been eating in the past. So,
oh man, tacos, real pizza, real hamburgers.
Yeah,
I made my.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll be real short here, but yeah, man. Over these past 2 weeks, and especially over the past week, I would say that the FUD's been out there, and there are true soldiers within this army that have created these spaces, positive spaces, that have been so helpful and so educational for all of us out here. So shout outs to Chris and Brian Young, and for Gandalf, and for you cats. Hopefully, Ryan, you know that there's an army behind you and behind Safemoon that creates this positivity. So saying that, I do have a question, and it could be leading into dangerous territory, but thank you very much for coming up and, you know, giving us all this education on the V2 and the consolidation, and some of the steps are going to have to be in place for us to do this easily, and making it so simple, like you said, that my grandmother can quickly hit a button. But with all this that we're talking about, and we have this blockchain intern coin kind of talk that's out there, would it not make sense more that we basically do a consolidation and do the coin at the same time? So we don't have to go through a whole other educational process if we have to change back to a coin from a token? And thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you for your question. So the thing that the way that you want to look at this is a certain way, and you want to think, how can we keep moving forward, keep pushing forward, keep building partnerships without compromising time? So the way that you want to look at it is, these people, and I'm not just saying people, but organizations and companies are reaching out to us on the back end, right? In lieu of this whole V2 migration, knowing that we're going to be able to scale, knowing that we're going to be able to be more flexible with them and with our coin. Now, if we put that off and we said, well, or with the token, I should say. Now, but if we put that off and we say, but, you know, we're going to be doing our own blockchain. Well, we got to wait for that. Then what happens is you push those companies, you push those organizations to the side. They now have no utility in your token. You don't build relationships with them. You're not able to scale with them. And then what happens? You're basically now letting in more FUD because you're taking more time and you're saying, well, you know what, we're going to, you know, eventually do that, but now's not the right time. So why don't we just do it all at the same time? That's the mindset. And it's funny because when you build products, your first product's never going to be perfect. Your product, for those listening, anytime you build a product, it's always in its working phase. Always in its working phase. A product is never done. It's just improved. So our app is a perfect example. We pushed out an app in a few months that big companies who have ungodly amounts of money still are trying to push out. They haven't pushed out a wallet yet, that are trying to get in the space. You don't believe me? Look at their job postings. It's all Web3. It's all Solidity devs. It's Truffle, all of it. They're trying so hard to do what we're doing already and what we've done in months. So with that said, as we push out products, hey, a product won't be perfect, but it's going to allow us to get traction and we'll improve upon that and make it perfect over time. So with your question, yes, we're going to be pushing this out first, pushing out the consolidation first, because then that's going to allow us to stepstone into the next partnership and build a relationship with them. So then when that day comes and we do have our blockchain, guess what happens? Hey, we already have the relationship. Hey, we just contact the relationship manager and say, hey, you know what? We've just launched this. We're ready to rock and roll. Well, you guys have been great. You guys have helped us with volume. You've helped us with amazing products and users. That sounds great. Let's go ahead and talk. So that's the way you want to look at it.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. The next gentleman up is Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Yes, I just would like to ask if the V2 is the same as the blockchain or will be two separate things, and if so, would they be deployed separate or at the same time? Thank you.
Could you say, so you're saying whenever could you say that again, Paul? I think you're saying that.
Yeah, is it
go right.
V2 is the same as the blockchain, or it will be two separate things? And will they be deployed at the same time or two separate deploys?
No. So those would be. So that would be two separate things. V1 to V2 is the same token on Binance Smart Chain, whereas the blockchain would be a completely separate animal. So yeah, to start right now, like I was letting Paul know, that the way that we're doing this is we're going to be consolidating, improving our current V2 contract, making it more flexible, allowing us for better partnerships. And then at that time, whenever we're ready to start, doing things with the blockchain, then at a later date, we can start, upgrading. And that will be a completely different animal, completely different bear. And that's not, we wouldn't be considered a token, it'd be considered a coin at that point.
Okay, thank you.
You got it.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. So I know there's still a lot of questions to be answered, and I know that the community could go on and on about how many questions do you want answered. But right now, we're going to have to kind of move the ball on just a little bit and just jump across to sort of like going over a recap of what things, pretty much what V2 is and how we're going to proceed overall. And so what's pretty much gone on with this space as well, just to kind of explain everything. Everything will be answered within the educational content that will come out. So don't worry, nothing's going to be left out. We'll get everything out to you. And if you've still got questions, you can reach out to myself and we'll look to try and gather those answers and then make content on them. I know that there's still answers and, this community could go on and on, but as we move forward, we'll definitely get you those answers.
One of the things we really want to start doing as well, we are doing, is taking these questions that we get from all of these spaces and that come through the community and also from our moderation team. And we're turning them into these assets and these resources, because we want you as a community to be able to help answer those questions too, because you all already do such a great job of it. But it can be a bit exhausting, I think, to keep having to say the same thing, tell the same story, give the same answers. So we want to, arm us all within the army with wonderful assets and educational material that we can share through. And just to kind of wrap up on my side from the community perspective, I've said this many times on the Mooncast stage, but I haven't had the opportunity to say it here before, which is, I don't show up for the token, right? I hold the token, but I don't show up for it. I show up for the people that I get to interact with, and that's both the team and the community. And the thing that drives every single aspect from my perspective that I see when I show up in a space, when I see what people are tweeting, when we're on the Discord, Facebook, Reddit, it's all empathy. It's so many people trying to see someone else's view. And it's seeing that growth piece happen where people start to stop and go, oh, well, maybe I can see this from a different perspective. And we welcome people in, and we're about, trying to create an opportunity for everyone to do better. Rather than put up walls and create division, we want to be working together on ultimately the crest of something brand new within technology. And ultimately, who knows how that's going to really impact the world, but we know it's going to be a world of impact. So the community is why I turn up. And I just want to thank everyone in the community for continuing to, rally behind us and let us do that. And so with that, I will hand over to Ryan to do a bit of a recap on today, but do come and hang out with us in the community if you don't already. We love to say hello.
Absolutely. And I just want to piggyback on what you just said. There's no perfect or right way, or I should say set way of doing things in this space. Everyone, the way that we're doing our migration might be completely different than another company or another token and how they do their migration. That's the great thing about this space, is that we're helping build it. Now, 10 years down the road, other companies might copy us, so they might do it a specific way, or they might do it a way that we've never even thought of. But that's the whole point of this space, is it's so new that the way that we're doing it to the best of our ability, so that we can, allow everybody to have a seamless or a seamless swap or a seamless consolidation. But that's the way that we best see fit. And as we build this out, we're starting to see all of those other opportunities to make it more mainstream and make it easier for everybody. So with that said, I'm really excited about what I've seen in the community as far as positivity, as far as believing in that we can push product, and we will, and we do, and we will deliver. And with that said, I'm going to say we will deliver this before the new year. Okay, so you heard it here. We will deliver this before the new year, and like I said, we're probably going to give you guys a little bit of a surprise. So with that said, Cats, do you have any saved rounds on your end?
I'd just like to say that from my end, my side of content, at least the initial first stages, is now live. So if you head to safemoon.net and scroll down to the bottom, you can find the education link there, or at safemoon.education. The step-by-step guide is now live. So at least if you want to go and sort of see the process, it's still, at the moment, going to be continuously added to. So it's not the final result, but it's got some information that I can see a lot of questions coming through about how the process works and that sort of thing. So this will be the first step to you understanding how each platform will work, whether you're on the Safemoon wallet, whether you're on the exchanges, or even Trust Wallet and the other wallets that we do partner with. So take a look at that. Have a look through, break it down, and then from there, any other questions, shoot them my way, and we'll try and get you the answers.
That's fantastic. So we're really kind of focused on education over hype. There's still going to be hype, don't worry, we're going to have some fun, but very much education, getting you tooled up with brilliant assets to do that and have a little fun while we do it along the way. You've heard the contracts.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a wrap. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for coming into another Safemoon Sunday and having patience while we work our tails off behind the scenes to ensure that you guys have everything that you need as far as resources go, as far as the technical mechanisms that are put into this, so that you can do a nice seamless migration. We appreciate your patience. We're almost there, guys. And this again, and I'm going to say this again because I said this a long time ago in another Safemoon AMA, this is just going to be a point in passing time. And we're going to look back, and this is going to be just another obstacle that we got through. So thank you all for joining. I'm Ryan, Global Head of Products for Safemoon.
I'm Mr. Adult, and I'm the Global Community Manager. And just a quick word to say that we've got one more Safemoon Sunday to go as well. So I'm really hoping you're going to turn up for that one. And we'll hopefully rock up with something that will entertain.
And finally, I'm Kat, and I am the Community and Education Manager for Safemoon.
Excellent. Everyone, have a phenomenal rest of your weekend. Be good to each other, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, looks like the stream is over. All right, looks like the stream is over. So basically they just talked about V2 and when kind of it'll be released. They did say they weren't going to say a date, but ended up saying that before the new year, V2 will be out. There is one more live Sunday, Safemoon Sunday, before the end of the year, which will be next Sunday. So stay tuned for that. We will broadcast that live as well. Excuse me, we will broadcast that live as well. But thanks for coming by, and have a great rest of your weekend.